guess I'm going to go in here. See if we can make the turn. Or not. What the heck's... Oh, that's weird. Okay, so wrong that one and that one. Okay, that's one. I'll grab the other one. And then we'll put the other one over here. That and drop it over there. Okay, so hopefully they should all be correctly placed so they don't have thousands of tiny little pallets. I mean, that's the thing. We sold, what did I say, about 90,000 litres. That would have been 90 of those little pallets, which I think last year I stacked on this trailer 3 high, and I think it still took me 2 trips to get them all sold. So kind of okay with using those bigger pallets. Get that there. Touch the module, drop the trailer, grab the auto load. I don't know what's going on with that either. Okay, things will wander around the yard. Did have a huge problem with the planter on this map. I think it was the horse pack. Bought the seeder or the planter and it turned 90 degrees in a shed so that the hitch was right up against the wall. Not ideal. Okay, I'm going to grab the wool in this shed first. I'm going to get stuck on the wall in this shed first. There we go. Oh, I think I've driven into the shovel, yeah. Didn't work out too well. There's another one, and see how much more we get from the big pallets. This thing can only run 8,000 litres, so I thought it auto-loaded from these, but apparently not so much. Okay. Anything on the help menu? No. Okay, well I guess 831. Since the Challenger's stuck, we'll jump over there. So, I did want to check how much wool we actually have. 3007, 552, 50. Yeah, not really worth it. Okay, not sure what this guy was trying to do. So I think I'm going to finish off this field. Then we can get back to the wool sale, because there's not really that much, 800 litres. I think last year's wool sales, I just looked at it and said 800 litres, so it's not worth the trip. Let's just skip it and hold it to next year. And it's early spring outside and snowing, because why not? I think for the most part you can see where we're laying the fertiliser and where we're not laying the fertiliser, and a lot of it is failure to harvest. I believe this strip along here we had corn in there, and we were using a forage harvester, and the forage harvester was getting confused between the corn and the grass and would just destroy the corn. And because it was destroyed and not harvested, it didn't reduce the nitrogen level. So we've ended up with a strip along the side of this field where it doesn't need fertilizer because it didn't use it up last year. And other sections, obviously, we picked up the crop, and so it's all fine. And then the bits in the middle of the field are where the crop didn't germinate or didn't grow. So I believe for Farm Sim 22, precision farming is going to have a metered lime. I can't remember what they call it when they don't put things in the ground because the ground doesn't actually need it. But like here, we're only planting seed where there is no seed planted. We're only putting fertilizer where the fertilizer is needed. I think they're doing that with lime for 22 as well. So our lime usage will be seriously reduced. They're also adding a crop sensor. I'm not sure how that's supposed to work. but is something along the lines of you need the sensor on the front of the tractor in order to detect how much nitrogen the crop has in it. Now the sensor is, I believe, do we have it? I don't think I've got it loaded. What the heck's that? Sling for lifting. Oh, okay. What the heck's that? Oh, CCM mill. Okay. All sorts of wonderful things that I have loaded that I didn't realise. It's sort of a thing that goes on the front of the tractor. I think someone did it as a mod for 19, so that you didn't have to drive around the field and take successive soil samples. You could just stick that on the front of the vehicle, and it would give you a readout. So, you know, if you're ploughing a field or cultivating a field, you could do the soil sampling as you drove round. Giants one supposedly looks at the nitrogen content of the crop that you have in the ground to determine how much fertilizer or whatever else, I think herbicide as well, you need to add to the field in order to how much you need to add to the field in order to get... Seriously, dude. Telephone pole is a pain in the butt. So many of them on this map aren't real, and you can just drive straight through them. Then you get the odd one or two, which, yeah, not driving through that one. Okay. So we'll finish this off. And there's also going to be a modification you can do to your tractor which has crop sensors which attach to the rear view mirrors. And they'll only work during the daytime, which is fine. The front mounted sensor works at night. Now, I guess the only thing that would concern me is if I have to use a weight on a tractor and then I have to use the sensor as well, that's going to be a bit of an issue. Okay, looks like we're close to done here. Fertilizer, we've used what, 300 for this entire field. Like I said, I don't know what the nitrogen level is on the bottom field. Also, I haven't limed... Well, this field got limed last year, I believe. Possibly... We bought this field with barley in it, and I think we pulled the barley out and turned it around as quickly as we could to plant it with maize. I think this field and the other one that we had barley and did the maize with as well. See, you look at that field. We're here. So pH is about 6.5, 6.75, 6.25. Not too bad. That one looks about similar as well. But when you look at the nitrogen levels, we've got splotches of really green, and that's because, you know, the previous crop didn't use that heavily nitrogenated content, and we had corn in this or maize in this field, which is a high demand, high nitrogen demand crop. So if it failed to germinate, didn't grow, or failed to harvest for some reason, you've now got an extremely high nitrogen level there. And the only real way to get around that is to plant that field with a cereal next year and hope it actually doesn't fail to grow or harvest. Come in here. So late spring, we're good. We did all the sheepy things, we did all the other things. And full pallet gone. 69, let's go 180. About there. So, what else do we need to do on the farm? Gonna have to check, I think. But I'll set him off for now. So yeah, that strip of green there, I think that's where the tractor tyres were when I was ploughing this, is heavily over nitrogenated. The rest of it, not too bad. Okay, let's go back to the farm. Oh, I suppose we could do this. Let's check the sheep. The sheep are fine. Sheep are super fine. Don't think we've got anything in here except fresh. Oh, got 40,000 litres of sugar beets. Now the issue there is I don't know if I've got enough sugar beets to feed the sheep for the coming year. 879 grass, which is what I picked up from the feed troughs going the wrong way round, and then we should have 735 fresh maize, which that's going to last us forever. I guess I'll take this down to the store. It's a little extra money. And the clover is not ready to harvest, so I'm guessing that's probably not going to be ready to harvest till day 9 late spring. So I may call the stream early here, since there's not a lot else to do today. And I may put a bit more time into it this week. Obviously the main focus now is to feed the sheep and wait till harvest. So summer is going to be more of the same, the odd fertilization contract to make more money, and just feed the sheep non-stop. There will be a clover cut, obviously, so we might do that. The problem is it's now going to take about 3 hours for that planter to finish doing that field. And I can leave that doing that while I do some chores and stuff. Excuse me. Okay. I also noticed I have a potato planter in the yard, and with the realistic seeder mod, you can unload potatoes from that. I don't know if I can sell them, but I might have a go. Okay, 1,000 pounds of more from the wool. Now there will be more wool produced. I mean, it produces all the way through to last day of spring, but the value is now dropping. I could sell it before the summer. I mean, obviously we're not, well, yeah, we're not going to get that much. But potentially there could be another 10,000 litres of wool to sell before the end of the year, or before summer, which isn't a bad number. Ouch. Okay, I'll go the wrong way. Hope nobody's coming. So I take this back through the main entrance. We'll stick this back where I left it, in the supply shed. I guess, yeah, the shed by the entrance is the supply shed. It's got the most of the stuff for sheeps. Ooh. Like hay and sugar beets. I'm in the clover cut. I think I want to pull clover hay in the fields behind the cowshed, and then field, I think it's field 5, will run as silage, and we won't be selling any of that. But I think that again would be enough to last us till next spring, especially as we're planning on reducing our stock holding of sheep over the next couple of days. And yeah, the plan is 250 per field, and that should be enough. It'll reduce their consumption, so I won't have as much of an issue with them just chewing through the bales like it was crazy time. And that's partly the reason why we just don't have enough sugar beets in the shed, is because we used 30 last year. Actually, we made 30 for the past 2 years, and we finished up with almost, but not quite, 0 when we were harvesting, and I figured 50 was probably sufficient, because we've been progressively more sheep each year. But I think my math was a little bit in error, because I didn't take into account that we're maxing out the sheep now, and a lot of them are adults. And so they're eating significantly more than they were last year. And the fact that I'm planning to drop it back to 750 over the summer, that'll reduce it to, I need about 30 for the year. But we've already consumed way more. Yeah, I'm kind of saying, in 3 days' time I want 30 pallets, and Yeah, we're down to 23. So that's not going to be enough. Okay, let's feed dog. Hey dog, have food. So we can jump here. It's getting on okay. But yeah, you can see where the tyre tracks were. I did so a lot of this with a worker. Workers don't destroy crops, but still. That's definitely more nitrogen than the field needs. Let's have a look at the nitrogen map there. And well, we're really not changing the levels here. This edge, probably. Taking it from kind of orange up to sort of yellow or a green. But most of this field really doesn't need. I'm going to need, I guess, some there, a little bit over here. But for the most part, this field's not going to need any fertilizer at all. So 1571, probably sufficient to run for the. We'll have leftovers. Meanwhile, oh, hello. Clover's ready to harvest. I need the Challenger for that. Oh, that's a pain in the butt. Well, maybe I can get that sorted. Yeah, unfortunately the mower set we have doesn't work with this class. The front 3-point is too low, so the mower digs into the ground and it can't move with it. But it does work with everything else. So long as I know I was planning to mow something, I usually make sure that any heavy job that's happening concurrently will have the class doing the heavy job. I forget what's in that field to our right. That's interesting. Because that's looking awfully yellow. Well, let's get back to this field. We'll swap the tractors over and then take the Challenger back. I'll rig the mower set up on it, and it's early morning, so we've got a lot of time available. The other thing I was considering was I could possibly use a medium horsepower higher than the two I've got, so something with a little bit more power than the case. But, let's see. Okay, I'm going to drive across this field. And we'll swing around in front of the Challenger. We'll stop you there. Tie me back up. Get that one out of the way. to get that back on a 180. There you go.